Hey guys, again. This video I want to show you how to get your arrows basically to fly true or straighter than what they actually are. Now, as I was growing up, the actual expandable broadheads that they came out on the market when I was younger, and what that does is it makes it where the arrow has lower drag like it does with the field points. And that's why they say with the smaller broadheads or mechanical broadheads that open up on impact, they fly like a field point. Now that doesn't mean you should never get your arrow sighted into those, but this video is to cover basically the cut on contact uh, broadheads. Those are the ones that actually have the blades already exposed. I'm going to actually show you here in a second. But the reason why I want to show you this is because a lot of people try to avoid these broadheads, and I like them. There's nothing wrong with them because to me, I'd rather have that broadhead that has the blade already there, cut on contact as soon as it enters wherever you're trying to hit, or whatever you're trying to hit, animal, target, whatever, and the blade is already there. I mean, there's no chances of it not opening because I've heard stories of people saying that their bow was shooting so fast that the broadhead didn't even open up, or it was shooting so slow because it didn't open up. Now, I want to show you how to basically tune your arrow and your bow to shoot these broadheads really good. There's a way to do it, and I want to show you how to do that and make it fly straighter. If you noticed, if you've ever shot these broadheads, you probably already know this, but when you try to shoot a group of arrows with these broadheads on them, they're kind of spread out compared to your field points. And I'll show you why here in a second. So stick with us. Okay, so here we have my Thunderhead 100 grain cut on contact by Knapp. My 31-inch arrow from my Bear Legion. It doesn't have any special vanes, just the regular. They're not. I don't even think they're offset. But, anyways, the reason why the broadhead does not actually, fly true or straight with these arrows, any arrow. I mean, this will work on bolts too. Is because the blades are not lined up with the actual vanes. And what I mean by that, if you look down this arrow here, see the blades and the feathers should be lined up as much as possible, but they're not. See this? There's a blade that goes right down the middle of this arrow, and there's no feather or no vane. So what you should do is you should be able to have each blade lined up with each vane or feather or whatever you use. So I'm going to show you how to do that. It's real quick and easy. So, alrighty, let me go get the tools and I'll be right back. Alright, the tools I'm going to be using in this video is the actual broadhead wrench. It came with the 3 broadheads. Then I'm going to use my diamond coated steel, knife steel. Then I'm going to use my file. I think it's just a regular bastard file. But anyways, we're going to go ahead and take the broadhead off the arrow. Make sure you're safe with this because you cut your fingers off. You just unscrew it. Let's see here. Make sure. Alright, so I'm just double checking the fitting here. So what you want to do is you remove your broadhead from your arrow, and what you're going to do is actually polish the insert. You can use, like I said, I got my knife steel or a file. It just depends on how much you got to remove. But when I retightened it with the wrench to see how much it was off, it wasn't off by much, so I'm just going to barely touch the insert with the knife steel. Just polish it up a little bit. You can use really anything for this. A actual sharpening stone would work too. but you'd want a low grit stone. You wouldn't want a real high end polishing stone because it wouldn't remove any material, and that's what you want to do. Alright, so we polish that up a little bit, and here we go. We're going to put this back on, and we're going to tighten it down with the wrench, and I'll show you what it did. Alright. Let's see here. You tighten it a little more. Okay. Now what we're going to do is I got like basically a jig here. And what this is just a piece of pipe insulation. And I take the cock feather, the off color, and stick it in the back here. This is how you can tell whether it's lined up or not from the beginning, from the get-go. This will give you a rough idea how much it's off if your arrow isn't lined up correctly. It's not off by much. But there we go. So you sit your arrow down in that slot. I had to cut all the way through this, but these broadheads are pretty much lined up now. The blades are lined up with the vanes. And this arrow should fly pretty straight, even though, I mean, it flied straight anyway before, but I mean, with the actual broadhead on it, it should fly true and it should fly pretty good. So that's how you get your broadheads tuned into your vanes, you know, in return it'll actually make your bow shoot them better and more accurately. So, and you can make a jig out of anything. It doesn't have to be what I used. I mean, you can take 2x4 PVC, anything really, just to make a slot in it to hold the vane and then hold your tip of your broadhead in. And like I said before, you know, you can actually do these with the expandable broadheads if you wanted to, just to make sure they're true, because, you know, even some of the expandable broadheads, these aren't very wide cut broadheads, but even some of the expandables have the blades that stick out just about that far before they even expand. So, but anyway, guys, I want to thank you for watching the video, and as always, we'll see you on the next one.